What's going on, Jerome's? Happy Monday. Unfortunately, it's not a victory Monday, but it is what it is. Vikings are still 8-2, and look, the sun came up. What can you do about it? So, look around the NFL as we always do every Monday. Here are some things that we learned around the league that have nothing to do with the Vikings, which, Dios mío. Dios mío, still rough. But going all the way back to last Thursday, which seems like 9 months ago, but the Packers losing at home against Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill and the Tennessee Titans 27-17. The Packers are trash. They're finito. They have ceased to be. I mean, the Packers right now are probably the worst team in the NFC North, which says a lot. I mean, it contains a team that just lost 40-3 at home. If you can't laugh at yourself, you're kind of a douche. So what can ha 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 ha. And the Vikings losing sort of took the fun out of the Packers absolutely just getting dismantled. Like, how is Aaron Rodgers the fifth best quarterback on the field again during that game? So you had Derrick Henry, Malik Willis, Tannehill, Jordan Love, and then Aaron. It's rough, man. It's rough, but I guess things could always be worse. Number two thing that we learned, the Eagles can get got. So, I mean, you had one job, Colts. You had one job. So you could have punched it in from the 6 with Jonathan Taylor-Thomas, but no, you had to show off with your Lululemon passes, and then also you couldn't stop them from marching down the field and getting a touchdown. But other than that, you did good. You did good, kids. But, I mean, Philly's a one-man show right now. It's Jalen Hurts and everybody else. Hurts the runner, Hurts the passer, and that is it. That's it. And even with Linval and Sue in there, I mean, they still gave up 99 yards and a touchdown on the ground. So I think that's still how you can make hay. And the Eagles can get got. Maybe the Cowboys can get them. I mean, hell. And also, I think the Giants are better than what they showed against the Lions, but we'll get to them in a second. But the Cowboys, I mean, it's hard to win a game in division. And even though Philly's already beaten the Cowboys once, they do have to go to Dallas week 16. And if the Vikings are able to keep pace, I know. People are very sad right now, very emo. It's like, just go 8-9 to get a better draft pick. Shut up. This is still a good team. And if the Eagles can trip up a time or two, maybe the Vikings can snatch that one seed back, because Dallas looked pretty good. But maybe it's because the Vikings look so bad on Sunday. I think we learned number 4. Zach Wilson is the problem. It's Zach Wilson. Hi, he's the problem. It's him. So the Jets were just abysmal. And this game looked like it was going to end up in a tie when the Jets punted for the 10th time that day. But then the Patriots ran it back for a touchdown. That was the decider. But Zach Wilson, 9 for 22 for 77 yards. You had 103 yards of offense and 10 punts. It's just ridiculous. And I mean, respect. Rob Salah has built one of the best defenses in the league. That Jets defense, led by Quinnen Williams and Sauce, they can certainly get after it, man. But the offense could not move the ball. I think they had net 2 yards of offense in the second half. It's a yikes. It's a big time yikes. Now, Zach Wilson certainly does have the traits to become that dude, but he's not that dude yet. And maybe he walks around with the arrogance that he is a Patrick Mahomes right now, but he's not. And he needs to stop that. Next up, we learned number 5. Bills are back on track. So it's possible that the Bills could have lost 3 games in a row. So they lost to the Jets 2 weeks ago. They lost to the Vikings last week in dramatic fashion. And now they had that blizzard with 77 inches of snow in Buffalo. They had to move their home game to Detroit, where they have to turn around and play again on Thursday against the Lions. And Buffalo, I mean, they got it done. I mean, they're down early to the Browns, but they were able to take the Browns' best shot, and then Josh Allen and Singletary and Diggs and that offense got back on track. And so, I mean, they should be good to go. Like, I think even though they are only 7-3, they already lost to the Jets, they already lost to the Dolphins, got to play the Patriots twice. I think that they can still be a force in the AFC. But, I mean, when we lose, of course, it's like, oh, it's over. But once the Bills lose 2 games in a row, it's like, oh, everything will be fine. Next up, thing number 6 that we learned, Cordarrelle Patterson should be in the Hall of Famer. Cordarrelle is the greatest kick returner of all time. And again, we have to re-enter this conversation. People say, like, no, Devin Hester was the greatest. No, Devin Hester, greatest punt returner. Cordarrelle Patterson, greatest kick returner. Hester was okay at returning kicks, but returned his 9th kick for a score, NFL record for Cordarrelle. And the Falcons, the Falcons are still hanging around. I mean, they're above 500. They're in the race for the NFC South. And the Bears, yet again, so now they're 1-7 in their last 8 games, where Justin Fields puts up these monster numbers. He's taking over social media. Everyone's like falling, look at how many yards they can run, and then the Bears still lose. And I understand a lot of it's on the defense, but it sort of is what it is. So maybe the Bears can actually rebuild the defense. Maybe they can get a player like Khalil Mack or Roquan Smith or Robert Quinn on their team. Then maybe they'll turn that defense around. Who knows? Next up, thing number 7 that we learned, Lions might be legit soonish. So they got 3 wins in a row, which is the longest active streak because the Vikings gave it away against the Cowboys. And they went on the road against a very good Giants team coming off their bye, and they took it to them, man. They put the bang thing on him, man. Detroit, I think once they get a quarterback, I do not believe in Jared Goff. But, I mean, the defense, they got some great pieces. They're really good in the trenches. And they're playing hard for Dan Campbell again. They had a very early lull. But, I mean, they're 4-6 now. Maybe they can actually start stringing together a couple of dubs. And maybe they can get back into the wild card race. Who knows? I think right now they're probably playing the second best ball in the NFC North. Behind, of course, the Vikings. Sunday notwithstanding. Next up, thing number 8 that we learned. The fighting Heinekes, man. So I understand you're going and beating Houston. Davis Mills is Garbaggio, and they're whatever. But going on the road, it's hard to get a win on the road no matter who you play. And Washington, I mean, they're getting it done. I mean, they're 6-5 now. Heineke's been named the starter the rest of the season, even when Carson Wentz gets healthy. They got wins over the Packers and the Eagles. And, I mean, they're playing tough, plucky football. And once Chase Young gets back in full swing, they have one of the best defensive lines in the NFL. And, I mean, Heineke, I don't think he's a franchise quarterback, but can he do enough to keep him competitive? Yes, I think that he certainly can do that. It's kind of fun. He kind of strikes me a little bit like 2017 Case Keenum, just out there, almost like drawing plays up in the dirt. And I don't know. He's an easy guy to root for. Love me some Taylor Heineke. Next up, thing number 9. The Raiders were less horrible than the Broncos. So Devontae Adams, walk-off, overtime touchdown. Congratulations. And, hey, I guess if you just cry at a press conference, you get a win the next week. So maybe Kirk should have cried. But, yeah, the Raiders going on the road at Mile High. And Nathaniel Hackett needs to be fired. Like, they need to completely burn that thing down and reset. I mean, maybe George Payton maybe he's fired too, because he made that rush trade. Does not look very good. How is the Broncos with Russ averaging like 18 points a game? It's just redonkulous, man. Melvin Gordon, of course, fumbling at the most inopportune times. But, I mean, the Raiders get back at it. But it's really just both these teams are shuffling the chairs on the Titanic right now. It's iceberg dead ahead. It's over. And lastly, thing number 10 that we learned, Mahomes and Herbert. So we're watching the game right now. It's in the third quarter. Chargers are up 20-13. I don't care who wins, but it is just amazing watching both of these guys duke it out, where every single Chiefs-Chargers game should be on prime time when these two are the quarterbacks, because it's almost like they're playing horse. Like, Mahomes will have a crazy drive. Justin Herbert has one. Score. I mean, they really are. I mean, maybe a little bit hyperbolic, but Mahomes is on track to be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Herbert is certainly getting there, and it does seem to have like a diet Brady and Manning dynamic. I mean, every single time these guys get together, the games are insane, and they both perform extremely well. It's like they make each other better. So it's really fun to watch as an objective fan, and I just needed to get that taste of the Vikings game on my mouth. So I'm glad that we're having a good Sunday night football game. But that's it. 10 things outside of the Vikings that we learned week 11. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.